Well, hey y'all, thanks for coming back. This afternoon we've got a really great entree recipe. It's a twist on an old favorite. I know I love a good pork chop. Pan fry it, broil it. I could sound like an ad for the pork council, but we won't. So today's recipe calls for pork cutlets. You could use pork chops, pork cutlets, whatever you find. The main thing I want to point out is that these pork chops have been hammered out. We want them to be as thin as they can so that we can roll them up, because these are actually pork chop roll-ups. Now the secret behind these is the wonderful ingredients. So I came up with this recipe probably 4 years ago. It's for my husband's birthday party, and he loves pork shoulder, pork loin, and he loves to barbecue it, put it on the pit, and enjoy it. So I sat around one day with him and said, how can we make this differently? So I said, well, we have cream cheese. Now you'll notice I have this new product from Philadelphia, the Cooking Creme and Savory Garlic. In the past, I used traditional cream cheese, and it used to drive me crazy because I would have to let it soften, because this is a recipe where you can't have chunked cream cheese. It needs to be ready to stir on the go. Now we've got the cooking cream to do that. So when I was making the recipe, I said, okay, cream cheese and what else? What kind of spices do we want to flavor it with? Well, we joke that back in Texas we like to put ranch dressing on everything from pizza to french fries. Well, now we're putting it on our pork, because we've got the packaged ranch dressing, the mix. And this is how easy this is. All we're going to do is take this cooking cream and mix it with the powdered ranch. Look at that. I didn't have to let it sit out. I didn't have to let it soften. It's ready to go. So right into the bowl we go. I want to make sure we get all of it there. Okay. Then we take our package of ranch. Make a mess, that way it's good. You know, it's really good when you make a mess. At least that's what Mom always said. So we're just going to roll that up, set the trash aside, and just mix. That's really how easy this recipe is. And we want to get all of the ranch mixed thoroughly through. Nothing like that pocket of powder when you're eating. It's kind of like when you're eating something with pepper in it. And whew, it'll knock you out. So voila, here we go. Cream cheese and ranch all mixed up and ready to go. So the next step is to take our pork chops and lay them out. In this case, we're doing 6 pork chops for this 10-ounce container of cream cheese. We might have a little bit left over. If that's the case, you can always get more pork. So we get our spoon and just a dollop right on top of the pork chop. And just spread it out. Kind of painting pictures. I know Mama always said don't play with your food, but I've learned it's kind of fun to play with your food. In my mind, playing with your food makes it taste better. Because if you didn't play with food, you wouldn't find really great recipes like this one. Because it's so easy. Really, it doesn't get much easier than this. I was making this for my husband for his birthday. He loves fresh spinach. So that's what we're going to add. We're just going to take some leaves of spinach and line them on each pork chop. 2 to 3 leaves, depending on how big the pork chop is. That's all it takes. Okay, so now that we've got them ready to go, our next step is to roll them up. So we've got our box of toothpicks here. We've got our pan that we're going to use to toast them on. And all we do is roll. So it's just like you're rolling up a tortilla, or what else do you roll? We'll think about that one for a minute. Tuck in those last few leaves so that they don't stick out. And then we take pork chop and just put it right through the middle to hold it in place. Just like that. And set it on your dish. And we roll up the rest of them. Now you'll notice that some of these pork chops have 2 toothpicks. They're a little bit bigger, so we want to make sure they stay securely rolled up when we put them in the oven or in the toaster oven to broil them. So in this case I've got 6 pork chops. You can have up to 8 or even more if you want, however far you want to stretch that recipe. So this is where it gets even easier. we're going to take our pork chops and we're going to put them in the oven or the toaster oven. In my case, you all know that I like to use my toaster oven, so that's what we're going to use. So we're just going to take the pan, put it right in the toaster oven. I've got it set to broil, both settings. Now these pork chops, probably 10 to 15 minutes. Depending on how thick the meat is, you'll want to go longer. So we're going to start the timer at 10, and then we'll check them. If they need a little bit more time, then we'll put it on for a little bit longer. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Our pork chops are done. We checked them at 10 minutes. They weren't quite done, so I went ahead and put them on for another 5 minutes and checked them. And now I think they're perfect, so let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Spinach, cream cheese, pork, delicious. This is going to be the perfect dinner, and it might even pair up well with that hash brown casserole we made. So, to recap, 6 to 8 pork chops, powdered ranch dressing mix, the Savory Garlic Cooking Creme, mix up the garlic cream and the ranch dressing, spread it on the pork chops, lay some spinach on them, roll them up, and broil them for 10 to 20 minutes. And that's how easy it gets for dinner. So, another great recipe for the books. Thanks, guys.